Hey everyone, so I've got another review video for you today, but this one's a little bit different to the way I normally do them. I'm going to be talking about 3 films today, and there'll be just 3 separate reviews in one video. So if you're only here to watch one of the reviews, I'll put the starting times for each review in the below bar, so you can just skip forward straight to that review. So it may look like a long video, but I promise you it's not that long. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be grouping my Bonham Burton films that I have left to watch and review into little sets, because I really want to watch them all, but I feel like I have to review them the first time I watch them for you, so you kind of get my first fresh opinion, because, you know, opinions do change the more you watch a film. But I don't want to bombard you with loads of reviews at once, but at the same time I really want to watch these DVDs, and I know I'm not obliged to review them, but I do want to. So I thought I'll kind of watch 3 and then review them in one video and watch another 3 and so on. The reason I'm doing 3 in one video is because that's as much as I can get in the title. But I hope you don't mind that. I will still be reviewing every one of them. I think there's about 4 more sets to do, so there should be another 4 videos that are coming over the next few weeks, couple of months. But I hope that's okay with you all. I will be reviewing Turks and Caicos and Salting the Battlefields individually. That'll be Friday and the following Friday. But without any more rabbiting on, I hope you enjoy this video. So I'm going to talk about Edward first, and then Where Angels Fear to Tread, and then we will go on to Sweet Revenge. So the first one is Tim Burton's 1994 film Edward, which I hadn't seen, of course, but everybody raved about it, and I thought it's going to be really, really good. It was fantastic. It's based on a true story. Edward, the title character, directs his first film, and he gets Bela Lugosi on board. And it kind of looks at Bela Lugosi as this kind of aging, no longer popular, once a sensation star, and kind of Edward's attempt to get him back in the limelight while building up his own career. And it has some very comedic effects. For the most part, it's a very entertaining, very funny film. Not necessarily laugh out loud, but very peculiarly funny. But it does have quite an emotional kind of undertone running right through it, and especially towards the end it gets really quite emotional. It also has very serious issues, because it does talk about the concept of men dressing up in women's clothing. That runs right through it for obvious reasons when you see it. So it's kind of a mix of all things. It's very serious, very emotional, but also very funny in a lot of parts. Though what I love most about it, it's in black and white, so it does have that kind of old feel to it. But what I love most about this is when you watch it, you kind of feel like you're watching a film directed by Edward, starring Bela Lugosi. It's not Bela Lugosi, it's Martin Landau, but you do feel like you're watching Bela Lugosi in a film directed by Edward, and you're not. And it really messes with your mind, because in this particular DVD, there's special features, and you get a look at behind the scenes of the directing and things with Tim Burton, and you kind of forget that it was directed by Tim Burton. It feels like it's directed by Ed Wood and, in essence, Johnny Depp, and it's really brilliant and really clever the way that happens. It's a lovely little film. It's 2 hours in length, and it's just nice, a little snapshot of, you know, how the filming industry worked 60, possibly 70 years ago. Really enjoyable film, and possibly one of my favourite Tim Burtons now. And then we have the 1991 film Where Angels Fear to Tread, yet another of E.M. Forster's that Helena has done. And out of the Forsters she's done, I have to say this is probably my favourite, and I didn't think it was going to be. Really slow start to begin with. Recently widowed Lilia marries somebody in Italy. She marries an Italian, and Caroline Abbott, Helena's character, feels responsible for this. And then something happens, and I'm really concerned if I tell you what happens it'll ruin it, because I wasn't expecting it. So I'm not going to tell you much about the actual plot development, but rather just how much I liked it. Because for me, so many things happened in this that I was not expecting, and that kind of quickened up the pace a little bit, because as I said, it did start out quite slowly. And maybe this is just the way, because I am a Helenist, maybe it's just the way I love this, but when Helena's character became more prominent in it, kind of halfway through, it picked up. But maybe that's just because I was enjoying it more. I don't know. The story is very good, though. It's, as I said, it's very surprising. It's hard to tell you about this without giving away spoilers, because for me personally there are things that happened all the way through it that I wasn't expecting, and I don't want to tell you these things in case you weren't expecting them either. So please forgive me that I'm not being too informative with this one, but visually it is stunning. You know, early 20th century. The costumes are gorgeous. In fact, I'll show you that one there is my favourite in the entire thing. One of Helena's costumes, Helen Mirren, is in there. She's brilliant. Rupert Graves is fantastic. Julie Davis. It's a wonderful cast. Very well directed, well written, all the directors and writers' names will be in the below bar, by the way, for all these films. Thoroughly enjoyed it. If you've read it, I haven't read it. If you've read it, you may have a different outlook on it. You may think it's a rubbish interpretation. I do plan to endeavour to read Her Angels Fear to Tread eventually, because I do like Forster's work. But for the most part, I think it's a very enjoyable film once the pace quickened up. The ending was a tiny bit flat. It wasn't one of those films where it ends and then you end up punching the air in excitement because it was so fantastic. But it is very, very good, and once the pace picks up, it's kind of stable throughout with little surprises. So it's definitely one I recommend. And the last one is the 1998 film Sweet Revenge. This was broadcast as Revengers Comedies. You have no idea how long it took me to find this DVD until I actually worked that out. So just a heads up, if you've been looking for Revengers Comedies, this is what you're looking for. Maybe slightly different DVD cover because this is a foreign one, because for some reason it's really expensive to get the British DVD, but it's British audio and everything. So if you're in the UK, it's no different. There's just Dutch subtitles. This is not what I was expecting. At the very beginning of the film, Henriette and Karen meet when they're both about to go and sing themselves off of the Tower Bridge. I know. Not what I was expecting either. And then they both find out why they were seriously unhappy, and they plan to seek revenge on the people who caused each other's happiness, which sounds like a really exciting thing. And the plot is very good, but what makes this ideal for me is the characters. Not just Helena Bonham Carter's character is fantastic as she is, and she is very wonderful in this. Sam Neill's character as well as Henry is lovely. Helen's character you're not supposed to like, but you can't help but like her because she's just so witty and so charismatic, and she kind of takes on 4 different personas in this, and you can identify the different personas by the way that Karen dresses. And I think my favourite has to be the 4th one we see. I love that one. But it's the other characters as well. Anita Dobson is in this, she's brilliant. Rupert Graves' character, he doesn't have a major part, but his role just it puts comedy in it where comedy is not meant to be, and it kind of almost makes it bordering on dark humour. It's not a dark humour film, but it kind of has a slight edge to it when you're not meant to laugh. Because it does deal with serious issues, it deals with marriage, it deals with affairs, and it deals with seeking revenge. It essentially deals with trying to kill somebody, but you kind of forget that they're both seeking out to commit murder. Now, whether or not they commit that murder, I'm not going to tell you because it'll ruin the film. But the ending, in fact, the very last frame, split second before the end credits, I just thought it was gorgeous. It's very, very well directed. It's written and directed by Malcolm Mowbray, and I just think it's a visually stunning film. There are a lot of things in this that are just so weird. It's just, you can't help but watch the screen. My eyes were glued to it the entire time. I mean, it is like every other film. There are a couple of scenes where you kind of think, can we just move on with the story, please? But for the most part, it is beautiful, and there's a lot of countryside scenery, so even the scenery is very gorgeous as well. I cannot fault this film, apart from the fact that it had a name change when it was released on DVD. So it took me a long time to find it. The DVD itself, I think, was about £5 or £6. It is an import, but it's a Region 2 import, and it does play, so don't worry if you're looking for it, it will work. And also, just as a bonus, the DVD is the most gorgeous colour ever. I've got a bit of an obsession with DVD discs. When you get a boring silver disc, it's never any fun. But Sweet Revenge is absolutely wonderful. If I had to organise these in order of favourite, I'd have to say Sweet Revenge and Ed Wood come top joint. One Tim Burton, one Helena Bonham Carter, and then Where Angels Fear to Dread just underneath them. But they're all absolutely brilliant. Let me know your thoughts on any of these films, and I'll see you all in my next video, which should be Turks and Caicos. Bye!